let me tell you something. Some of them ninjas, them evil ninjas, they be like, oh no, I got my fangs in them. You can't have your fangs in them too. Then that way I won't get enough blood. Find your own, creature to suckle up. Bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about me, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's lip, y'all, is straight from uptopbeauty.com. It's this chuggy. Ooh. Now, let's finish continuing talking about brothers B.O. like George. Ain't that funkin' kinda hard on ya? I think this is part 13 or 14, I don't know, y'all. It describes the illuminating power of the music using as metaphors common tools of illumination, a flashlight, and the power of a gun. Sir Nose was in Flashlight, where we taunt him by saying, dance sucker, and get on down, Nose. But he also had his own song, Sir Nose, Devoid of Funk. That song scared everybody in the group. It was Bernie and Fred, both independently doing horn arrangements, coloring around the singing and the rhythm track. Sir Nose was one of our most popular characters to the point where we couldn't even get fans to go along with us as we cracked on him or shot him with the bop gun. That was especially true in New York, where they booed us for mocking him. Oh no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Let me tell you guys something, okay? What you can't do, okay, not anymore, and these people found out the hard way, okay? You can't openly, pick on different people, okay? You can't do that because you'll get smacked in the face. And the world will cancel you. You can't mess with the gays. I'm gay, and I'm not just saying it because I'm gay, okay? But that's what you cannot do. Don't fuck with the gays. You can't fuck with dogs, or any kind of animal. Okay, any kind of animal, all right? You can't do that. You can't kick a dog. You can't throw a cat. The things that, used to do back in the day because there wasn't no rules, you can't do that no more, okay? PETA will get you. The ASPCA will get you, okay? Plus, they'll cancel the out of you, okay? Next thing is, well, I would have said the white woman, but them Kerns, they catching hell right about now, ain't they? Anyway, New York wasn't happy with them messing with Sir Nose. That's not what you can do. Don't mess with Sir Nose. Here's your chance to make your way out of your constriction. This same week, Nene passed me the notes that led to the creation of Funk and Lecterkey versus the placebo syndrome. Nene took us to see Star Wars. He must have known someone, or at least said he did, and he got us into the premiere. 25 of us walked right in through the side door. That was one of the first big movies to use the Dolby 4-track stereo system, and it blew my mudda hunchy head off. Later that year, there was a movie that did more of that kind of thinking, and we got into the premiere for that one too, and almost into the actual movie. That was Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which we found out about from Julia Phillips. Julia Phillips had produced it along with her husband, Michael Phillips. Michael Phillips? Who is that? Who is Michael Phillips, the dude from Transformers? Hold on. Who? No, that's Michael Beck. We met at her place. Julia told me about Close Encounters, describing it so vividly that I almost thought I was watching it. She went through the scene where Roy, Richard Dreyfuss's character, sees the flying saucer on the highway. She told me about the Devil's Tower obsession. Then she told me that she wanted us to do a funk version of the John Williams theme song. People were calling the movie CE3K. She wanted to call our version CE3 Funk. I wasn't sure about the title, but I was pretty sure that a song was a good idea. Why wouldn't I want to make good on Space Funk that I had shared back on the mothership? Plus, we had just started recording Funkin, which was scheduled to come out the same month as the movie. People now think of Close Encounters as one of the all-time greats, but back in the fall of 1977, the powers that be were anxious about its prospects. Spielberg had shown it to the preview audience somewhere in Texas, and they hadn't gotten it. It went over their heads or under their radar. He went back into production for another month or so and fixed up what he thought was wrong. Finally, he was ready, and Julia called me back and invited me to the premiere. So this is what happened, okay? At the end of premiere, right, everybody's standing around because Julia like, we about to go back to my house and have a big party, right? Now the cars are pulling up, people are hopping in. Cars are pulling up, people are hopping in. You know it is 1,000 P-Funketeers, okay? You know this, right? So the last car pulled up, right? Julia like, come on, get in. Excuse me, y'all. Julia like, come on, get in, y'all, get in. It was so many people getting into this limo that one dude was left out. Now, this is before seatbelt restrictions, okay? Remember when they was just letting us bobble all over the place? No seatbelts, click it, ticket, none of that. So you got people sitting on top of each other in this stretch limo. It's about 25 of them, okay? And it was one person who got left out. Y'all, guess who the one person was? And I am shocked and awed. You live this person? Are you crazy? Do you know how large this nigga is? The one person who was left out of the car standing there twiddling his thumbs was Ringo Starr. A Beatle? No, nigga, you don't leave a Beatle out on the curb. Is you crazy? Is you crazy? Here come hating ass Nene. Oh my God. You know I don't want to say hating. You know I want to say another word. Ooh. Ooh. At that party, everybody filed in already high, ready to get higher. Nene had warned me about Julia's predatory ways. Nene, how you going to judge somebody else for their predatory ways when you're the predator? Okay, that's one thing. Ooh. Let me tell you something. Some of them ninjas, them evil ninjas, they be like, oh no, I got my fangs in them. You can't have your fangs in them too. Then that way I won't get enough blood. Find your own, creature to suckle. When I walked in the front door, Julia pulled me into the bedroom and showed me a picture of myself on the wall. It was 2 or 3 weeks old at most. This is how much I love you, she said. I figured that she was trying to impress me so that I would do the song for the soundtrack. There wasn't any funny business, at least not as far as sex. She did offer me some coke, of course, but I shook my head and pointed to my chain. Not my chain, but he pointed to his chain and said, no, I got my own. Casablanca makes sure that I don't have to beg nobody for nothing. We ended up doing the disco version of the theme. When we cut the song, it was for a new group I had in mind called the Brides of Funkenstein. It was led by Lynn Marbury and Dawn Silva, both of whom had been singing backup for Sly through the mid-60s, and who also sang backup for Eddie's solo album. They sang great, and Bernie went absolutely fucking crazy on the keyboard. As it turned out, after all of that, Julia didn't use it. Hollywood. I brought it to Neil Bogart, head of Casablanca, who loved the song but thought the concept was too dark. Instead, he wanted Casablanca to sign a different girl group we were developing for some of the backstage singing. Malia Franklin, Jeanette Washington, and Debbie Wright. It was called The Parlettes. Funkin versus the Placebo came out Thanksgiving week in 1977. We had made fine records before. We would do it again. But if I had to pick one P-Funk record to take to the moon, I'd take Funkelstein versus the Placebo Syndrome. What is this? Funkin telekinesis. Right on the heels of Funkelstein versus the Placebo Syndrome, Bootsy released his third album, Bootsy, Player of the Year. If the first album had been an establishing shot and the second one a confirmation that he was a star, this one was all about him being ready for his close-up. Bootzilla, the toy, was futuristic. He came equipped with stereophonic funk, producing disco-inducing twin magnetic rock receptors. But he was also rooted in American pop culture. The fact that he was a fictional toy made little or no difference. Bootzilla rose into the highest heights of the R&B chart, where it replaced another song at the top. Let me check which song it knocked out. Oh, that's right, Flashlight. At the end of 1977, we hired a new management team, Steve Leber and David Krebs, who had been with Aerosmith and also managed Ted Nugent and Mahogany Rush. We knew we were in the rock space, and we thought they could help us navigate. Around the same time, most of the original Parliaments left the band. Calvin, Grady, Fuzzy. They hadn't been fully happy in years, and I could understand why. In the early years, they were out in front, getting all the attention, all the girls, and then the spotlight shifted over to the musicians like Billy and Eddie. Those guys were like their little brothers. They had sponsored them out of Playfield. Those younger guys were brats, and it was hard for the older guys to stomach them. Plus, when new members came in, like Bootsy, their stars shot right up past the original. Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, and subscribe, because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies have a good one. This is a chance.